The manufacturing sector, 22% emissions, 7 million new jobs, 400 billion in cost over 10 years. And economies are based on production, and production is dependent on infrastructure, right? So instead of using fast disappearing resources, right, like lithium or rare earth metals that we're so dependent on, or cobalt that we're so dependent on today, oil, fresh water, we should set up a national recycling system that will provide most of the inputs for our production. This will allow us to replace and expand our domestic manufacturing to support the Ecosocialist Green New Deal, right? If we're going to farm differently, if we're going to use different vehicles for transportation, if we're going to produce energy in different ways, we need factories here in the United States that are producing those, the equipment and the materials that we need to actually do that. And then we need production facilities here in the United States that take the used materials and repurpose them, recycle them into new uses. And if our agriculture and manufacturing systems are set up in this way that mimics nature's natural ability to sustainably recycle and reuse, instead of mining and polluting and destroying, then whatever is produced, whether it be factory or a farm, will do so in a sustainable way, right? And a way to think about this kind of nature's ability to sustainably recycle and reuse is soil. Every bit of soil, really, that we see on this planet is the result of decomposing organic matter, right? Things died, they decomposed, and it turned to compost, it turned to soil. And so at this point, the earth is literally covered in it. And that's the outcome of that natural system of reuse, and then that soil sustains the life that grows in it. That soil turns into large areas of sequestered carbon, like an oil field or a natural gas deposit. And if we leave it alone, it will stay there. For the most part, right? There's things like methane blooms or methane pockets in the Arctic that kind of get released as things thawed, but as we push things back, that sequestration will be more and more reliable. So we need, under this policy, zero waste manufacturing. We need to replace our current we need to both replace our current manufacturing capacity with sustainable machinery and processes, right? So that means, moving steel production to electric arc furnaces instead of how we do it now. For example, we need to expand our domestic manufacturing capacity. We need to really dive in on recycling, which at this point in our society, recycling is almost all consumer level. And half of the time you send your recyclables, you recycle something and it either goes straight into the landfill and they lied to you, or it gets sent halfway around the world to be recycled. So we need a domestic recycling program that not only focuses on this consumer level stuff, but that focuses on, manufacturing and large scale recycling. And then we need a global Green New Deal, right? The United States has been one of the main drivers of climate change, one of the main culprits in the climate crisis. And because of that, we need to invest in helping the world shift as well. It's our reparations to the rest of the world, for the damage that we've done and for the very, very damaging systems and, production methodologies that we've exported. So as we develop these new manufacturing methods and these new recycling methods, we need to be exporting them. We need to be sharing them. We shouldn't be hiding them, behind IP, behind intellectual property and patents and things like that. The Green New Deal has to be global, and it has to be shared.